President Donald Trump said he is marking the dawn of a new Middle East as foreign ministers from the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain joined Israel's prime minister at the White House Tuesday to sign the Abraham Accords, normalizing the two Gulf Arab states with Israel.
In Israel's entire history, there have previously been only two such agreements. Now we have achieved two in a single month, and there are more to follow.
The White House says the accords are named after Abraham, the patriarchal figure in Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, who is seen as representing the potential for unity among the three faiths. The agreements are part of a broader diplomatic effort by the Trump administration to pressure Palestinians into accepting a peace deal, a strategy that experts call the outside-in approach.
And that is, if everybody recognizes Israel in its current borders, in its de facto control over all of Jerusalem, over the West Bank, and even the Gaza Strip, that would eventually force Palestinians essentially to acquiesce and leave them no choice, really, but to surrender to this reality on the ground.
You could say it's a back door, but I call it a smart door, not a back door.
In the West Bank Tuesday, people took to the streets to protest the deal, with Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Satayeh condemning the accords, calling it a black day in the history of Arab nations. Historically, Palestinians have relied on Arab states withholding recognition of Israel as a bargaining chip in their struggle towards statehood. Analysts say the agreement between the UAE, Bahrain, and Israel reflect a changing regional calculation on the two-state solution.
This is really a consolidation of some of the geopolitical shifts that we've been seeing that have been coming for decades, but that show that Arab Gulf states and Israel have more in common in terms of their opposition to Iran than they have in opposition in relation to their views on Palestinian aspirations for statehood.
Less than 2 months before the U.S. election, the Trump administration is touting the Abraham Accords as a foreign policy win. And while foreign policy may not rank as high of an election issue compared to the pandemic and the economy, the future of Israel matters to a key group of Trump supporters, evangelical Christians, who Pew data reports made up about a third of the president's supporters during the 2016 race. Patsy Widahuswara, VOA News.